Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q2 and H1 FY24 earnings conference call of IOL Chemical and Pharmaceutical Limited. For the management, we have Mr. Pradeep Khanna, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Abhay Raj Singh, Senior VP, and the Company Secretary, and Mr. Rakesh Mahajan, Advisor Finance and Strategic. We also have an investor relations team from the AD Factors. As a reminder, all participant line will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and then zero on a touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Darshan Mahakant from AD Factors PR for the opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Liva. Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you to the second quarter and first half ended September 30 earnings call of IOL Chemicals and Pharmaceuticals Limited. Before we begin the earnings call, I would like to mention that some of the statements made during today's call might be forward-looking in nature, and hence it may involve risk and uncertainties, including those related to the future financial and operating performance. Please bear with us if there is a call drop during the course of the conference call. Would ensure the call is reconnected the soonest. I now hand over the call to Mr. Rakesh Mahajan for his opening comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Darshan. Good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, sorry for delay due to some technical glitches. A warm welcome to the second quarter and half year ended 30th September 23 earnings conference call of the company. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for joining this call. Hope you all have gone through the results and the investor presentation available on our website and exchanges. Before we dive into the financial performance for this quarter and open up the floor for the question and answer sessions, we would like to briefly touch upon the economic and industry outlook. Global growth is forecasted to slow down in calendar year 23 and 24 as projected. The global outlook is reinforced by ongoing consumer dynamism in the US, but faces pressure from China's worsening property crisis, tight policy stance around the world, the consequences of Russia's war in Ukraine, and the most recent conflict of Israel and Hamas, and growing geoeconomic fragmentation. Despite a challenging global environment, the Asia and the Pacific region remain a relative brighter spot. It is which put it on track to contribute about 2/3 of global growth this year. Headline inflation has declined from post-pandemic peak as global commodity prices have receded and monetary policy has taken effect. India's economic growth remains robust, driven by large public capital expenditure, push and resilient domestic demand. As far as Indian pharmaceutical sector is concerned, US continue to show strong momentum led by easing of elevated price erosion, easing of input cost on raw materials, and price hike benefit by NLEM drugs by government allowing to 12.1% price increase since April 23. The recent deliberation on guidelines by central government on OTC medicines will increase access to such medicines. We expect growing structural global opportunity and tailwind flowing into Indian API players over the longer horizon. For the specialty chemical sector, pricing pressure has been persistent with Chinese dumping of chemical into export market globally to overcome their domestic weakness. Overall demand will be affected by the ongoing economic crisis, especially in Europe. There has been margin decline in raw material prices, but volatility persists with crude prices resuming their northward journey. With this update, I now hand over the call to my colleague, Mr. Pradeep, who will briefly who will brief you about the financial performance for the quarter and first half of the financial year 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahajan. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today to discuss our performance for the second quarter and half year ended 30th September 2023. I will take you through the financial highlights for the second quarter and first half of the financial year 23. The total income of the company in the second quarter of financial year 24 stood at rupees 552 crore as against rupees 546 crore in the corresponding quarter of the financial year 23 and rupees 570 crore in the previous quarter ended June 23. EBITDA for the quarter was rupees 71 crore as against rupees 37 crore in the corresponding quarter of the financial year 23 and rupees 80 crore in the previous quarter ended June 23. EBITDA margin for the quarter improved by 620 basis points to 12.9% as against 6.7% corresponding quarter of financial year 23 and 14% in the previous quarter ended June 23. The net profit in the second quarter of financial year 24 was rupees 38 crore as against rupees 16 crore in the corresponding quarter of the last year and rupees 46 crore in the previous quarter ended June 23. With easing of input cost and better realization, EBIT margin for the pharmaceutical segment was at 15% in quarter 2 of financial year 24, while EBIT margin for the specialty chemical segment was 1.5% in quarter 2. The capex for the first half of the current fiscal is rupees 114 crore, whereas it was rupees 211 crore for the full financial year 23. With this, we open the floor for a question and answer session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handset while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Reminder, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Ketan from Robo Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. I wanted to know what will be the revenue and margin guidance for H2 FY24 and FY25 and 26.
The company is expecting revenue growth of around 10% every year. So we still maintain that revenue guidance for upcoming FY24 and FY25.
Okay, and margins will be how much?
Margin, the company has planned for around margin of 15 to 17% EBITDA margins.
For H2 or for full year?
FY24 and 5.
Okay, so right now we are at some 13 to 14% margin for the first half. So can we expect a rate of 18 to 20% sort of to cover up for FY24 from say Q3? Can we expect?
There are some products which we are manufacturing. The prices are drastically down in the September quarter, which we expected as the demand is there. So we expect that the prices may likely to improve to some extent, which will increase our bottom line.
Okay, and that will happen in Q3 or Q4?
Yeah, we expect that.
Sorry, I did not catch that. By when do you say will that happen?
No, basically Q3 will definitely be, I think it will be similar to the Q2, but Q4 will be better than the Q3. So the most of the recovery will come into the Q4.
Okay, got it. And what was the paracetamol utilization in this quarter? And are we planning for an expansion on that side?
For paracetamol, we are running at around 95% capacity, which we have recently increased to from 1800 to 3600. But the prices were drastically down during that quarter, June and September quarter. But capacity utilization is running at 95%.
Okay. And I mean, if you are using 95, then are we planning for further expansion?
As of now, we are considering various avenues and may come back to you within next quarter.
Okay, got it. And one last question. I just wanted to know if we are selling any non-ibuprofen products in Europe.
Yeah, we have already got the approvals from various European authorities, and a small amount of export has been started.
Okay, that has been started.
It may take one or two quarters more to increase the quantity in Europe.
Okay, so I guess that will also support our margin. Is that understanding fair?
Yeah, we will get some export more. We will sell more in export market these non-ibu baskets rather than selling domestically.
Okay, got it. That was very helpful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Neelam Punjabi from Perpetuity. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. So my first question is on our ibuprofen business. Could you help us understand what's the capacity utilization during the quarter?
The capacity utilization of ibuprofen remained stable at around 90%.
Around 90% during the quarter, okay. And our ibu business has been pretty strong with almost like 29% YOY growth during the first half. So are we expecting the revenues to sustain in the second half as well?
We hope it will be sustained.
Got it. What's the average pricing that we've realized in ibuprofen during the quarter?
It was remained at the same level which was in June quarter, and also remains in the September quarter at the same level.
Understood. Secondly,
Substantial increase or decrease in the prices.
Got it. So for the other API business, it's been down almost by 13% in Q2. So is it largely because of price decline in paracetamol?
Yeah, it is primarily due to our capacity of this paracetamol, and sale has increased substantially, but the price is eroded by more than 80%. So it affects our top line in terms of reduction in prices of paracetamol. To some extent, metformin prices are also corrected to some extent.
Could you quantify how much has the paracetamol and metformin prices declined respectively on a YY basis?
It was about 25%. And in case of metformin, I think it was around 6 to 10%. 6 to 10%.
Got it. Okay. Any new
The price fall in the paracetamol is on an average basis. However, there has been very fluctuating prices during the whole quarter. So what Pradeep ji told about is the average price. reduction, if we say, during the whole quarter as compared to the last quarter.
Got it. And since you mentioned that the capacity utilization has gone up, is it fair to assume volume growth in both of these molecules has been decent, like single digit YOY?
Volume growth in paracetamol, yes, it is obviously there. And what other molecule you are asking?
Metformin.
I think it's static, it's stable.
Stable. Got it. And you had mentioned that we would want to start exporting to regulated markets in a couple of quarters. So any progress around that, if you could just share an update?
A little bit increase in export from the European market has already been started, and we are expecting that it will be increased further.
Got it. Okay.
These samples are already floating in various markets, and various customers are interested, have shown their interest, and we are expecting increase in volume for exporting Europe for our non-IB segment.
Got it. So we had given a guidance of around 500 to 550 crores of other API revenues in FY24, and given the first half is at around 236 crores, are we confident on maintaining this guidance? Because that would imply almost like a low teens kind of growth in the second half.
Yeah, Neelamji, surely we are very hopeful about that meeting the targets of around 500 to 500 non-IB business in this financial year. And I think we are approximately half of the way. So little bit is to be better recovery will be there in the third quarter and fourth quarter. Maybe we can cross the 500 mark.
Got it. And sir, for the next 2 to 3 years for this other API business, could you give us a directional, guidance as to what kind of growth rates can we expect for non-ibuprofen APIs for FY25, 26 next 2 years?
We are having the similar guidance we given in the last quarter. We expect around 20 to 25% non-IB business growth for the next 2 to 3 financial year.
Great, that's helpful. Next on the chemicals business. So this, top line has been flat on a YOY basis. And as I look at your EBIT margins for this segment, it has come off during the quarter. So could you help us understand what's the reason behind it? And, we had also commercialized acetic anhydride facility during the quarter. So, what's the sales of that and why has it not reflected in the overall segment numbers?
First of all, regarding ethyl acetate, the major raw material for ethyl acetate is the acetic acid, which was again very volatile in this quarter, especially in September month. So that is one of the reasons. Plus, prices almost remain the same, which was earlier in the quarter of June itself. But the volatility in the raw material prices affected the bottom line of ethyl acetate. As regarding acetic anhydride, we have commercialized it and started selling to the market also. Around 40% of our present production is being selling to the domestic market as we are entering to the new segment and new customers. The price, the sale is already in the chemical sector, shown in the chemical segment. But the level which remained the same for the 2 quarters due to the reduction in prices of ethyl acetate primarily.
What would be our current realizations in the ethyl acetate? What's the price for that right now?
It is around $1 to $1.1.
Got it. Okay. And what's the current pricing of acetic acid?
It will almost remain the equivalent to ethyl acetate prices.
Okay, understood. Lastly, on the other expenses, so this has gone up to almost like 79 crores during the quarter. Are there any one-offs during the quarter, or what has led to this increase in other expenses?
Actually, the reason other expenses are due to power and fuel. Increase in power and fuel costs. There are 2-3 reasons to increase in the power and fuel expenses. It is due to start of operation of the Aztec Energy. The power and the steam and gas consumed in Aztec Energy production. And second reason is due to shutdown in the boiler, which leads to purchase of power from outside at high cost. This is one of the reasons. And due to seasonal effect also, in the second quarter, utility cost is on the higher side. Due to this, major increase in power and fuel expenses in the second quarter.
Okay. So we can expect this to sustain in the coming quarters as well.
I think in the coming quarter it will decrease.
Slightly.
Power and fuel expenses. So ultimately leads to decrease in the other expenses.
Okay. Thank you. This is helpful. I'll get back to the queue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Vikas from NT Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Couple of questions. Starting with the chemical segment, the EBIT margins appear to be quite low. Is that because of the internal consumption, or what is the normal kind of margins you would expect for chemicals?
For internal consumption, we have seen that around 80 crore have been shifted from chemical to API division, which is transferred at the cost price only. That may be one of the reasons. And the second, as I already explained, the prices, volatility in acetic acid prices.
This is a major
understand, but what would you expect to be the normal EBIT margins for this segment over a longer term?
It is single digit, I think, not more than that.
Currently it's low single digits, so where do you think it should be?
From the last 3-4 years, it is 2-3 years, it is around 6 to 8%.
Okay, understand. And second, I was just curious that you report that you have 35% global market share for ibuprofen, but your share of sales to regulated markets is relatively small. So how does the dynamics work in terms of your market share for regulated versus non-regulated markets?
Except the US market, where we have very low market share, we are selling our ibuprofen since quite a long period in Europe and Latin American and other regulated markets, where we hold good market share in regulated, except US. But now we are exploring various opportunities, flows of the market in US also, and may start to increase some share in US also. But till date, our more share of export is from regulated market, is from Europe and Latin America.
Okay. Any particular constraints you have faced in the past for the US market?
No constraint. We are getting good net sales realization from Europe market rather than getting them from US market.
Understand. And who are the key competitors in US, if you could mention?
There is one major player which is producing in US, that is BASF.
All right, understand. And also finally, could you talk about your capacity expansion plans which are going on now or say likely to be for the next 2 to 3 years?
We have recently added one product in our chemical segment, that is acetic anhydride. The project was completed in the June quarter itself. And now we are including some capex on infrastructures, additional infrastructure like boilers, which we have recently added one more, and more focus of infrastructure in capex on green chemistry and environmental activities. And but we have some plan for growth capital both in chemical and API division, which we may update everyone in the due course. But our plan for increasing of capex company has around 200 crore, almost 200 crore in this financial year, and same likely in the upcoming 2 years.
Understand. Thank you. And that includes the capacity expansion for ibuprofen as well, because you said you're operating at almost 90% utilization.
Capacity was expanded in around 4 years back, and we are still playing on that capacity of 12,000 tons. We have not increased the capacity since last 3-4 years.
Okay, but do you plan to going forward?
As of now, we are not thinking, but we are more focusing on non-IBU segment. But if any situation comes, we are ready to expand immediately with backward integration. We have sufficient scope for us to increase in a very short period.
Understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Mohammed Ayas, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Congratulations for the good result year-on-year, and thanks for the opportunity. Sir, I just want to ask you one thing. If we consider one base quarter and just one bad quarter, what that quarter should be according to your business?
Sir, can you repeat your question?
Base quarter. If I ask you one base quarter and one bad quarter, what quarters that would be? Means 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, September quarter or?
So, I mean, bad quarter, every quarter we hope that they will be better than the previous quarter. But I can say the bad quarter was the Q2 last financial year, was the bottom down where we bottom down. And Q3 last financial year was better. The Q4 was also better. Q1 and the Q2 are also better considering the overall the market situation of our industry. So we cannot say this is the best, but we can identify the second quarter of the last fiscal year was not good.
Okay. In terms of seasonality, June, September, December, and March, according to your business.
We're talking about good quarter and the bad quarter within one financial year?
Yes.
So like if I say in that respect, every financial year Q2 remains on the lower side and the Q4 remain on the higher side.
Okay. So another question is, we have filed 12 DMF for the 12 DMF, I think, and 5 QEP. So I need to ask, how many times it takes to get approval for that DMF?
How much?
Time it takes from the regulatory authority to get approval for DMF.
Basically, this is the process where we file a DMF. Our DMF is 6 already evaluated and ready for references, whereas 6 DMF are under evaluation process.
Okay. So if we get DMF for a few drugs, we have only one DMF for ibuprofen, am I right?
We have filed 12 DMF, but we get the approval for product that is ibuprofen since 2015.
And metformin is also approved by without having the inspection done by the US FDA. So in any case, any drug regulator is looking for importing from us, that will be considered as the US FDA approved.
Okay, metformin is by body study.
That is available for all the manufacturers who wish to buy the metformin from us also.
So what is the difference between the DMF margins and normal margins?
The process is that like we follow the DMF, and then the regulator follows the ANDA file, and when the ANDA file is approved, that ANDA has the drug descriptions of IOL. All these files are when approved, so there is the possibility at the end of the US regulatory, either they can approve after inspection, or if they think that this is not required, the facility already visited by the US FDA in the past, and they are satisfied with that, they can also approve any product without inspecting it physically.
Okay. What are the margin difference between normal and DMF approved drugs, means export and regular, non-regulated margin for metformin?
Yeah. In domestic, the prices are quite low, which make different. The prices in regulated market increased, ranging from 20% to 50% also in base. Depends on the product and the product profile. Like clopidogrel, the prices are in domestically it is maybe $50 to $60, but in regulated markets prices may be going to $85 to $90.
Can you repeat that again?
This is just an example. When the domestic prices for non-IBU portfolio, the prices increase. The difference between the price domestically and regulated market may be difference from 20% to 50% depending upon the product. And as I give one example of clopidogrel, which in India it is being sold at $50 to $60, but in the export market, in the regulated market, it may range to $80 to $90 per kg.
Definitely.
So, and regulation.
Okay, sir. Sir, another one question I'm having. Sir, any positive development from CPHI Barcelona?
Yeah, we have set up one stall there, and our team is remained there for the whole event, and they told us that they have expected a very good response there also, and I think.
And in fact, there were 213 companies participated for the sitagliptin process, and there was some event wherein our company was within the top 5. It was IOL process was within the top 5 best processes, which we have already procured a patent on this. So we were the finalists in that event in the CPHI, again out of the 213 companies.
That's a great achievement. So any update for that sitagliptin process? Are you planning to introduce that product sitagliptin, or it will take some time?
So basically, this depends on the market viability and the overall commercial economic viability to the company. We have got a very clean and greener process developed for the sitagliptin, and we are working on it. If all these parameters, EBIT margin and the economical is viable to the company, we will definitely start this. But this is just the study we've done. Nothing final decision has been taken on it so far.
So the chemical portal has been low in this quarter. Is there any improvement we can see in Q3 and Q4 in terms of profitability?
Yes, sorry, can you please repeat, because your voice was echoing. We were not able to understand this.
Okay. My question is, we have seen low profit margin in chemical sector in this quarter. Can we see any improvement in Q3 and Q4?
Yeah, definitely, yes. Q3 and Q4 historically remains better for the chemicals vertical for the company.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Neeraj, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, you mentioned that we'll have an capex of approximately 200 to 250 crores for current financial year. So any guidance for future capex, let's say for next 3-4 years, what would be the tentative capex we have planned, and what would be the breakup in terms of chemical and in API business? I mean, how much will go in chemicals and how much will go in API business?
So the guidance for the next 2-3 years is on the similar pattern that last year we did around 200 crores, more than the 200 crores. This year we have a planning for 200 crore. Out of this 200 crore, already we incurred 115 crores. So next 2 to 3 years we are having the similar plan for having the capexes. And this capexes majorly will be in the growth capex, and this may be divided into in any proportionate depending on the market and the products we finalize. So this is pretty early to say that how much capex will we use in a particular product or the segment.
Okay. What is the
major part of it? Major part of it will remain towards the growth capex.
Growth capex. Okay.
Yeah.
What would be our current spend in R&D, and what would be it in terms of overall revenue? R&D spend would be what percentage of our overall revenue, and what are our plans on R&D?
So we are having the moderate R&D expenses. Our R&D expenses ranges from 2 to 3% of overall turnover.
Okay.
That is for the capex only, R&D capex.
Any other plans in the future to increase the R&D budget?
Yes. We are working on it, and we will come out with the appropriate announcement in this regard at an appropriate time.
What is the current position of cash and debt?
The company is totally debt-free in terms of term loan, and further we have not raised any debt since 2017. And as of now, we have bank balance of around
more than 250. Yeah.
250 crores.
Okay. Any capex we have planned where we intend to raise debt?
As of now, no, because whatever the capexes we are doing for last 2-3 years also is being done through internal accruals only.
Okay. So going forward in next 2-3 years also we are planning that we will spend around 200 to 250 crores.
Definitely yes. We have the projections and the estimates relating to the capexes. The cash generations from the businesses is more than what we are looking to invest into the capex.
Okay. So we can say safely that in next 2-3 years also we would not need any debt.
No, we are earlier announced so many times that we are not going to for any substantial debt.
Okay. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Praveen Sharma from Sharma Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for taking my question. I just wanted to understand how is the impact of Chinese economy on our business expected to be for the current quarter and for H2?
For China, there is like in our pharma segment, especially in IBU, we are not dependent on China. And for non-IBU segment, to some extent we depended on China, but China play a critical role in our chemical also and this metformin also. their policies remain unknown to everyone, and when they go for increasing prices or reduction in prices, no one knows. They impact all over industry, but as we have already ordered some chemicals and placed the order for chemical from China for upcoming 2 quarters. So we are hoping that we may not impact badly for import of chemicals from China for the upcoming half year.
Got it. Thank you for that. I also would like to ask, in case you could throw some color on which new products will be contributing for growth in EBITDA. If you could give some info on that as well.
The overall kitty of the non-IBU products, they are contributing, and they all will start contributing in a better way with the passage of time and increase in the capacity utilization. So we have 3-4 products, and we also we are having a good amount of the filing in the regulated markets. We are receiving the CEP. We received the CEP during the first quarter for this paracetamol. So as in the earlier questions, we responded that we are getting the good responses from the customers from the regulated market. Whenever our exports will increase to the regulated market for the non-IBU products, our EBITDA margin, the contribution from these 2-3 non-IBU products will increase or to our EBITDA margin. It will be contributed in a significant manner.
Also, paracetamol and metformin are doing well in the market.
Okay. Thank you so much for the answers. I'll join back in the question queue. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anuj Panwar from Family Office. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi. Thank you for the opportunity. I just have 2 quick questions. My first one is, can we look at the margin sustaining at the current levels or improving for the rest of the year? And my second question is, yes, please go ahead.
So margin, what you are asking, if I understood you correctly, next 2 quarters, whether the margin will remain same or it will improve. This is your question?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, so we are very much hopeful that the margin we have for the 6 months will definitely improve in the next 6 months.
Okay. And do we have any plans to increase the ibuprofen facility? Also, like any plans to go beyond the 35% global market share?
I already discussed during the call. We are as of now, we have not planned for that. For expansion of ibuprofen, but we are ready with we have already worked out. When any opportunity comes, we may be the first to increase the capacity along with backward integrations of raw materials in ibuprofen. But still, we are running at around 90% capacity. As of now, we are not planned, but we have worked out how to increase the capacity within short period of maybe 6 months or 3 months. We are ready with that plan.
Okay, understood. Yes, that was helpful. Thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mohammed Ayas, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Sir, when can we expect Mr. Vikas Viks on board?
Actually, he was traveling when he was there in CPHI also, and again from there he went to some client, and he is expected to come back tomorrow most probably. So let's wait, and next quarter we may think about that.
Yeah, hope we would love to host him in the conference call. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Rakesh Mahajan for closing comment.
Thank you very much for joining us today and discussing our second quarter and a half year ended 30th September 2023 performance. The company continues its strategic focus to diversify revenue base with strong domestic demand in both sectors and backward integration. The next quarter or next half year will bring in more value addition for investor and shareholder alike. Thank you very much again for attending this call. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of IOL Chemical and Pharmaceutical Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line. Thank you.